Welcome to LSB Feaster's Radio Aircheck and Classic TV channel.
I've got these little things, she's got you.
From every point in the universe, instant news coverage. First on WIL. Now, here's another first edition. WIL, award-winning Action Central News.
At 5:15, 21 degrees, Fred Diphay reporting from WIL Action Central for Roosevelt Federal Savings and Loan, downtown at 9th and Locust, north side at 2132 East Grand and Crestwood, number 20 Crestwood Plaza, East St. Louis. State's attorneys from Madison and St. Clair counties have appealed to local law enforcement officials to prevent a repetition of cases such as the Wortman affair. In making an appeal for officials to help stamp out gambling in the two counties, the attorney said if local law enforcement officials had done their duty, this fantastically expensive investigation and trial would never have taken place. Meanwhile, the Illinois Liquor Control Commission in Springfield has ordered 87 liquor license holders, many of them in the two counties, to appear Monday and Tuesday for allegedly holding federal gambling stamps, which violates the commission's rules. Several taverns in East St. Louis, Belleville, Wood River, Millstadt, Muscuda, and O'Fallon were among those named. Washington, President Kennedy has informed Missouri senators that he will sign nominations for 3 Missouri federal judgeships. Such signing precedes formal submission of the nominations to the Senate. The 3 to be named are James H. Meredith and Judge John K. Regan of St. Louis and John W. Oliver of Kansas City. Meredith would succeed the late Randolph H. Weber. Regan would succeed retiring Judge George Moore. Florissant. A campaign has been launched to raise $5 million for construction of a 200-bed hospital in North St. Louis County. An organization of businessmen and private citizens known as Samaritan Brotherhood Incorporated is undertaking the project. Its plans call for construction to begin late this year on a 15-acre site at Mullenfee and Shackelford Roads in Florissant. East St. Louis. Transit bus drivers in East St. Louis have been hit by a series of holdups in the past 2 months. A total of 11 holdups of transit drivers has been reported. Thomas Schlattweiler was the latest victim. He lost $26 last night to a passenger on an East St. Louis city bus line. One driver has been held up 4 times since the first of the year. St. Louis, a leading educator, said today that education cannot be considered apart from employment. Former Harvard President James B. Conant, now director of a study of education of American teachers, addressed the closing session of the National Association of Secondary School Principals. Conant said in a medium-sized industrial community, there's generally considerable interest in the development of skills marketable on graduation. Conant says the relevance of high school work to future employment is obvious to both boys and girls. Conant's speech brought an end to the St. Louis Convention. Eugene S. Thomas, principal of Central High School, Kalamazoo, Michigan, was elected new president of the association, which will meet next year at Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Granite City, the Granite City Steel Company says it expects the first half of 1962 to be more successful than 1961 because the market for steel mill products has become much stronger than it was last year.
You are listening to WIL, award-winning Action Central News.
Life's major material goals cost a lot of money. A home for your family, an education for your children, a relaxed, comfortable, worry-free retirement. Will you have the money you need to achieve these goals? You will if you'll save for them at Roosevelt Federal Savings. At Roosevelt Federal, you're paid dividends for saving, substantial dividends at the rate of 4.25% per year. That's 4.25% compounded semi-annually and added to your account. At Roosevelt Federal, your savings have maximum protection, too, with Roosevelt Federal's own strong reserves and sound investment policies, plus federal savings and loan insurance. Make sure you reach life's major material goals by saving for them now at Roosevelt Federal Savings and Loan, downtown, North Side, and Crestwood. Roosevelt Federal's office at 20 Crestwood Plaza is open 6 days each week with special hours on Mondays, Thursdays, and Fridays until 9, Saturdays until 5.
Now, on WIL Action Central News, the world today.
Algiers. Terrorists in Algeria have killed at least 52 persons in the worst single-day slaughter of the year. Paris. Indications are that a ceasefire between Algerian rebels and France may be proclaimed by the middle of March. Washington. A congressman says U-2 pilot Francis Gary Powers will be called to testify before the House Foreign Affairs Committee next week. Washington. A Senate committee has approved President Kennedy's request to boost the national debt ceiling to $300 billion.
Here's the weather report.
WIL revised weather. The WIL weather ball steady blue. Fair, cold tonight, low near zero. Tomorrow fair, warmer, high in the low 20s. Winds from the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour this afternoon, diminishing tonight. Relative humidity, clear skies, 43%. Sea level pressure, 30.54, rising. Temperature, 21 degrees. That's 2-1. News presented by Roosevelt Federal Savings and Loan, downtown at 9th and Locust, north side at 2132 East Grand, and Crestwood, number 20 Crestwood Plaza. Fred DePere reporting from WIL Action Central, winner of broadcasting's most coveted award, Public Trust.
When I was a little bitty baby, my mama would